Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. Do, 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 do. So I'm waiting for confirmation, but I probably should start talking about other things too while I wait. So this is a group healing. It's going to be a group energy healing where I heal 131 people that purchased this healing set 2 months ago. It's a set of 3 healings, and this is the middle one, the second in the set of 3. Oh, yay! I get a confirmation. Thank you. That's very helpful. So yeah, it's a set of 3, and then later this month there'll be a set of 2 healings, and they're all on the same theme, which is improve your clairvoyance, intuition, confidence, and logic when you are healing yourself, and just in general too. Why not? But the focus is to help you as a self-healer, to be able to like visualize your chakras, visualize your aura, visualize rips in your aura, visualize if you have cracks in your chakras and therefore need repair, visualize, practical clairvoyance, practical intuition. It was funny, there was a question. Thank you everyone who filled out the post-healing survey. I was able to read them all, and it did help me in my preparation for this healing. But it was funny, there was a question in that survey, like how, I forget how I worded it, but I was like, what can you see and intuit about your space? And what can't you see and intuit about your space that you would like to? When I say your space, I mean like chakras, auras, grounding, but I realized I should have said that, because some people, they start talking about their house as their space, or, something very metaphorical. So yeah, I mean, can you see your chakras? Can you visualize, like say your heart chakra, if you're feeling really like boo-hoo me, visualize your heart chakra. Your heart chakra is probably clogged, and or damaged, so it's like, so there would be, a chakra like this. That's your 4th chakra, round opening in the front, round opening in the back. So like that, in there. And so you just visualize it and see, like, okay, does energy flow in and out of it? No, it's all blocked up. Okay, let me melt away the blocks, Oh, that's weird. I don't feel so down about the world anymore. That's what I mean. Can you use intuition, logic, to be like, okay, this is what I can see, and let me use that. Like, for example, somebody in their survey, they were like, well, I could see the outline of my aura and the aura layers, but then they immediately went to something that they couldn't see, and they did a whole video on something they couldn't see. Rather than like, okay, well, if you can see the outline of your aura and your aura layers, well, then maybe like go with that and improvise and look to see if you can see blocks in the aura layers, and then just sort of adventure and think of like, well, which aura layer is most interesting to me right now? Let me like look around and see if I can see, blocks in it, and let me clear those blocks and see if my day is going to be better because of it. Like say productivity is an issue for you, focus and productivity. Well, 7th and 3rd, that would be good for focus and productivity. Say, your outlook, is always like glass half empty. Well, 4th chakra and 4th layer, that would be good to adventure around there. If you don't know what each chakra helps with, I do have a 2-page free chakra handout, which most of you probably already have or know the information of. That's on it, but if you want it, you're welcome to have it. It's a free email attachment. I could email anybody that wants it. Just email me, janet@janetwrightreadings.com, and ask for the free 2-page chakra handout. And I'll just email it to you as an attachment. But anyway, so that's what I mean. And so the next survey I do for tomorrow, I will be much more literal about my question. I mean, I did get useful information anyway, and some people understood that I meant, when I said your space, I meant chakras, auras, grounding, stuff like that. But so it's more my mistake. I just didn't realize that my jargon terms are not so universally understood. So that's fine. But it was interesting to see the disconnect. It's always interesting. Oh, and these flowers are real. I talked about them. I did like a 10-minute flower discussion in my at the end of the last healing, which I timestamp linked if you if you missed my flower stories. You can go listen to it. I mean, it's the last like 11 minutes of the video because there's 10 minutes on flower talk and then 1 minute showing my dogs at the end of the first healing. And all the healings of this month will be put into one playlist, are already being put into one playlist because they're all of the same theme. So maybe that's convenient for you, hopefully. So I have exciting things that we're going to do today to help clairvoyance, intuition, logic, and confidence when you are self-healing. And in general. And it's a departure from what we did in the first healing. The first healing, we worked a lot around two things: don't want to know stuff, and step into it, which was huge. I love that. I really need that step into it stuff. We probably won't do it again today, but hopefully I'll do it on my own for myself more. That's been really helpful with gardening. So anyway, we did, with step into it, you just clear baggage that's keeping you from fully immersing yourself in an action or in the present moment or in your month or your life or your year or or your clairvoyance or your intuition. So that was good. And then the don't want to know, which I abbreviated as DWTK, don't want to know. The benefit of that, somebody didn't quite get the point of it in their survey. The point of it is that there are, like, you can only handle so much psychologically. Everybody has, part of the role of subconscious is that you keep stuff there that you don't want to deal with right now. You feel like maybe you're not ready to deal with it. And so on a spirit level, as far as clairvoyance and intuition, you could technically read anything about any life that you've ever had, anything that's ever happened to you. You can read stuff about, your relationships with all sorts of people. You can read stuff about the world. And it could be that there is stuff that, say is in your chakras, in your auras, that, is not fun. It has to do with some terrible thing that happened to you in some past life or something. And some of those things maybe you're totally ready to deal with now, and so that's fine. But there's some stuff that you're still not, you still don't want to know about it. Like maybe you just, you have kids, you have issues, financial issues, whatever. You just feel like, I don't have the brain space to deal with that. You don't have to know consciously any of it really to clear it and learn from it on a spirit level, on a subconscious spirit level. So it's just sort of skipping through some of the that sometimes things are just too much. And but it could be that it's better to just clear it, and not wait the 20 years until you're ready to handle whatever it is. Just clear it anyway, and then in retrospect your spirit will be like, oh yeah. So I'm not, of course, I always, can help people too to become more aware of stuff that they are ready to deal with. But, there's stuff that you're not ready to deal with consciously and even on a spirit level, but it would be really good to clear anyway. Because it's like when you're stuck on it, it's harder. Like if you clear it without, seeing what you're clearing, And then later, right after that, your spirit kind of has a aha moment subconsciously, because you're not stuck on whatever yuckiness it was anymore. And so it's just easier to process, like, oh, yeah, that was terrible. You know. So anyway, if that technique's not for you, whatever, it's not for you. But I love it. It's very, it's an extra effective way to clear, in addition to the normal clearing methods, which is good. Get more out of your way so you can enjoy your life. Get on with it. Get on with it. Come on. But today, okay, so that was a look back at the first healing, a little bit of discussion. So that was looking back to healing 1. So now the overview for healing 2. So I'll timestamp this. So meaning that there'll be a detailed healing summary in the comment section within a day when this is saved as a video. And so you look in the comment section, there'll be a detailed healing summary, and there'll be timestamp links. So you can jump to something if you want, or repeat something, or skip something. Not that you would ever want to skip my stuff, but you might. Okay, so overviewing what we're doing today, it's 2 concepts that we're going to be working. One is a river. So not life river, but just that we can work this topic using the concept of a river and flow. And that flow is good, and blocks are a problem, and you clear the blocks, and then you have better flow. So we'll have specialized rivers that we work for this topic, this theme. And then ripple effects is the other concept that we'll be working technique-wise, in that like you see and you intuit first on a spirit level, subconsciously. And then if you're okay with it, you know, at least reasonably okay with it, you become conscious of what you just intuited or what you just saw. And so then you have conscious vision or conscious intuition. I don't know what I ate that is still giving me, like, because usually I'm so careful with what I eat. Anyway, yeah, so say you see something subconsciously, if it triggers too much, you're not going to see it consciously. So we're calling that the ripple effect, like the ripple effect of your vision. And we're going to clear the junk out of it, the yucky stuff out of it, so that it's just a positive ripple effect of like curiosity and productivity and focus and, you know, logic. And, you know, so it's like you go into this freestyling thing of, oh, let me look at this. Oh, that's cool. Let me clear that. Oh, wow. How about this? How about that? How about this? So there's no gunk anymore. That's what we're going to do. We're going to clear the ripple effect of your clairvoyance and of your intuition, maybe logic too, and confidence. So that there's less, so it's more likely that you'll become conscious and use your conscious clairvoyance more and use your conscious intuition more, or allow it to be conscious more. Because that's the whole idea, is that you know, you have the chakras. For intuition is 7th chakra and partially 5th chakra, because 5th chakra is inner voice, and so that partially has to do with, like, you hear what you're intuiting as, you know, a mental thought. So it's 7th and 5th, and then clairvoyance, you know, is 6th chakra, and so you have those chakras, you know, and if they flow well enough, if they're unblocked well enough, you know, you can use them. But you can have like weird past life stuff, you know, maybe somebody, I was looking at, I think it was something of mine, there was some past life where I was a reader, and there was this other reader who was like, I guess, sort of competitive and didn't want me to be as good a reader as I was. And so they, you know, put energy in my space to kind of suppress my sixth chakra. And so part of that is what triggers if I see something on a spirit level. So if I get rid of that yuckiness, it's more likely that, you know, the ripple effect won't have that in it. Because if you have too much junk in your clairvoyance ripple effect, then you see something subconsciously on a spirit level and it hits all that junk, and then you're like, nope, I don't think so. And so then you don't allow it into your conscious awareness. So that's what we'll be doing. We'll be clearing ripple effects, you know, and healing them so that it's just like a positive chain reaction, potentially. And then the river work too. Get your flow. All right. So that's that. So looking quickly at comments. Can see and hear you. Thank you. Can see and hear you in sunny San Francisco, California. 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, that's pretty cool for you guys. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm so happy as a gardener. Oh my gosh. The weather, we got this like rainy front, which we didn't get much rain. It was like a bunch of sprinkles, but it totally transformed the upcoming forecast for like the next week. It was going to be high 90s a whole bunch. No, high 80s a whole bunch, which for us is very hot. But the whole forecast shifted, and now it's high 70s and cloudy. Which, you know, is hilarious because if I was a beachy kind of person, that would totally bum me out, but it's perfect as a gardener with lots of like things that I haven't even put in the ground yet, and, you know, seedlings, and they're already stressed out, and, you know, cloudiness is less stressful for them, and lower temperatures is less stressful for them, and also it makes it possible for me to garden at any hour of the day if it's cloudy and in the mid 70s. So I'm so lucky. I'm like, whew. So that's awesome. It's funny though, because I overheard my neighbor talk about the weather that we were having yesterday, you know, because it was cool and sort of misty and a little humid, which we never have in the summer. We never get any rain in the summer usually at all, like not even sprinkles. And she was like, this is disgusting. It was so funny because I was like so psyched about the weather. Anyway, funny stuff. All right, all good, loud and clear. Happy to see you. Thank you. Hey Janet, I can hear and see you missed the survey. Really wanted to fill it out. Well, next time. Excited for the healing this morning from Vegas. And it's sunny in Vegas, apparently. Loved the flower discussion. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't know. I just was like, well, we'll see. I wanted to talk about it, so glad people liked it. Hello from Evergreen. Oh, and there are fewer flowers in the bouquet because Zen ate some of them already. Like I try to keep her away from it, but I want to keep it on the counter so I can actually see it, you know? And she ate the echinacea petal so much that I put that flower away, you know, to dry it for seeds maybe, or I don't know, just throw it back out in the garden. For some reason she eats the echinacea more than anything else. I mean, she's still tried to kill everything, but she hasn't managed yet to kill the rest of the stuff. But the echinacea, for some reason, is like her top choice to like attack and devour. It's a good thing she's indoor only. Otherwise, she would totally screw my whole garden. Hello from Evergreen, Colorado. Cloudy and 57. How about that? Yeah, that's a cool front too. Hello from rainy Belgrade. 78. Oh, finally it's cool for you too. Wow, we all got lucky. Yay. Hey, Janet, have splitting headache. My goodness. Oh, and you put your name, thank goodness. Yeah, because I didn't know. Splitting headache, no energy. Can you please look and see what's going on with me? Well, I will just keep an extra eye on you in the healing. Basically, lots of damage from people that you know and are not surprising to you who damaged you. So, no surprises there. Someone says J-Dog. Hello. Maybe you're saying hello to my actual dog behind me there. Hi, Janet. Can see and hear you. Surviving the heat. 107 today. Oh, wow. You guys haven't gotten a cold front. I'm sorry. Ooh. Well, stay cool. I hope you can stay cool. Cool enough. All right. Well, at least a healing. At least I can give you a healing. Can't change your weather systems. Don't have that ability, but I can do a healing. That's what I can do. Alrighty. Trying to keep everything in the camera shot. The flowers are a bit in the way. But it's worth it. Flowers are nice. Okay. So yeah. So we'll just do the quiet time for 3 minutes or so. Pink zinnias are my favorite. Cool and rainy in Chicago. Yeah, you know, these were supposed to be purple, but they're very pinky. But there are different ones, you know, they're different. There are like variations. But yeah, I thought it was going to be darker purple, but I mean, this is pretty too. All right. So I will be quiet now for about 3 minutes as I finish my prep and say hello on a spirit level to all the participants that I'm healing. Oh, and of course, the September healings. Oh, how about I plug in my laptop? They plugged it in on this end, just not on that end. Oh my goodness. Logic. See, I need a clearing on logic. Anyway, I'm just going to be quiet now for 3 minutes and then we'll see. Okay, when you heal yourself, you can use a copy out in front of you. You create the copy with your intention or your thought. You don't have to see it. The copy would be of you, your auras, your chakras, your grounding. And you have 17 auras, actually. And you have your physical body and your astral body in the middle of that. And then you have two groundings. Astral body grounding, connecting you to the core of the earth, and physical body grounding, connecting your physical body to the core of the earth. And you can use your hands because they generate a lot of gold light, and you can use that gold light to repair and unblock. And so you have a big energy center in the palm of each hand, your hand chakra, and then an energy center in each fingertip. And they all can generate gold light. You just set those chakras to be a metallic gold color, just the hand chakras and the fingertip chakras. So then as they spin, they generate energy at that vibration, which is nice to inspire repair and unblocking and release. And as you heal, you just try to be aware of what's flowing and what's kind of like knotted up. And don't force the knots to unravel, just ease them out, you know, with the gold light. It's like as if a rope is knotted and you just ease out the pressure with the gold light, and it just kind of undoes. So then it's just this flow without the knot in it. So just try to be aware and work with the gold light. Don't kind of battle where you're stuck. Just allow it to become unstuck. Of course, your copy doesn't have to be everything all at once. For example, we're going to work on grounding right now, so you could just imagine you're grounding and forget about all the other details if you want while we do grounding. So recreate both of your groundings, make them nice and wide as the heel of the palm of your hand if you were to stretch out your arms. Though the point of that is you want the grounding, both your groundings to connect fully and be as wide as all your auras. And bring up your groundings to your third chakra, which is where your sternum bone ends. I think if you bring your grounding up that high, it just gives extra support to your lower chakras, which is good. And then you have a copy out in front of you of both those groundings you just made. They can just be both in the same place, so it kind of looks like one grounding, but your intention is you're unblocking and healing both your astral body grounding and your physical body grounding at the same time. And again, don't fight the blocks, just use the gold light and watch them melt away. Just kind of ease them out. It's like if you have a tangle in your hair, you're not going to be like, rah, 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 rah. You're going to sort of, work it out. I mean, with your hair, you're worried about probably breaking some of your hair strands. But with energy, you're not going to break yourself. You're just gonna kind of feed into your own resistance, and so it's not going to clear as quickly. Although there's also like a non-resistant, assertiveness where you just blow things up, and that's effective too. But if you're healing someone else, don't blow up their stuff. That's too bossy. All right, so that's unblocking grounding, creating grounding, both your groundings, and unblocking them, which is important to do. Oh, and somebody on their survey said that they remembered to do a tricolor soak when they were overwhelmed the other day, which is unusual for them, which is great. That's exactly the kind of stuff we're trying to work. It's like the level of energy work that you already know how to do, that you're already comfortable with. Do you have the presence of mind to do it when you need it? Or is it just like this, you know, once a month special occasion type stuff? So anyway, all right, so indie grounding is you imagine the outer perimeter of both your groundings as they go down to the core of the earth, and you wash out those outer perimeters with gold light and use the gold light to melt away connections that your grounding may have to other people's grounding. And you just want to melt those connections away at the grounding because there's no helpful reason to connect groundings. But people do it sort of as a, you know, a subconscious sort of insecurity kind of a thing. I mean, some people do it as a controlling thing, which is also based on insecurity, I suppose. Anyway, so just melt all that away. Just gold light down the sides of your grounding. All right, so that's indie grounding. So then let's do aura repair of your 17 auras. And the quick version of this is, you know, you just use composite copy and you repair them, and that's that, right? But we will do some extras just because I'm healing the people that paid me and I want to do my best. But if you only have a, you know, half a minute, just, you know, you make the composite copy, you have it represent, you have it be a rip that represents all the rips that you need to repair in all your 17 auras. And then you clean it out with sticky gold wax from your hands. Fill it up with a sticky gold wax. And the sticky gold wax is gold light from your hands that sticks to everything that's not you and forms like a lump. And then you lift it out as a lump, give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, fill it up, get rid of the junk. Angels, here you go. So now your rip is all cleaned out and you use gold light. And the rip repairs itself. Sometimes you have hard objects in the way, like somebody was throwing stuff and it's still there, so that kind of blocks it from fully growing back. So you remove the hard objects. Just imagine any hard objects in the way and just lift them all out. Angels, here you go. Lift out the hard objects. Angels, here you go. Lift out the hard objects. Angels, here you go. So if your repair wasn't working, maybe you didn't remove all the hard objects. If there are any invasive beings in the way, just say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this aura repair, can you please recycle those beings? All right, so that's the quick version. Aura repair, your repairs are ripped. Go on with your day, right? But you may have some little rips that are still ripped. You know, maybe like most of them repaired, but a couple of them had maybe too much junk in them, so they're still ripped. So make a composite copy for the leftover rips and fill it up with sticky gold wax, lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. Fill it up with sticky gold wax, lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. If there are any hard objects or dumped energy in the way of the repair, just lift all that out. Angels, here you go. Lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. Any invasive beings in the way? Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way of this repair? All right, great job. So then just some extra looking through your own auras. Lots of gold light. Unblock on the top and the bottom of all the aura layers. Alrighty. Usually we melt away aura bruising and aura scarring. It's just deposits of hard energy that weaken the aura. So as you're using gold light all the way through, you can melt away bruising and scarring. You don't have to know where it is, just use extra gold light so it melts. All right, so that's good enough for aura repair. And you can redo your gold buffer zones. Oh, you know what? Let's backtrack just 1 sec and do the gold mesh spheres. We'll repair those. So gold mesh spheres, they're part of your Wei Qi auras. Wei Qi stands for, I'll type it out. Wei Qi is a traditional Chinese medicine term. It refers to your Wei Qi is a protective self-defense energy that helps you to keep harmful influences away from your body and the inner part of your energy system. So it's strong boundaries energy, basically. And so the angels told me that we have 15 Wei Qi auras, in addition to the astral body aura and the physical body aura. And each of those 15 Wei Qi auras, they have a set of 3 gold mesh spheres within it. So those gold mesh spheres are a bit like chakras in that they generate energy. So they generate gold light. That's why your Wei Qi auras are like misty gold force fields, because the gold mesh spheres generate the gold light and create the force field, but also it's sent, that gold light is sent inward as a continual healing energy coming towards your body meridians and you. So super cool, right? So just imagine all your gold mesh spheres. Technically you have 15 outer ones, 15 middle ones, and 15 inner ones. And it's just a big sphere, big flowy gold mesh sphere that generates gold light. But if it's too ripped up, it doesn't do that. So let's repair the gold mesh spheres with gold light for your hands. And you know, we already took away a lot of hard objects, but in case you have any hard objects that are in the way of the repair, angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. If you have any beings in the way of the repair, just say, angels, can you recycle any beings in the way of me repairing gold mesh spheres? All right, good job. So chakra repair. No, creative ring repair. So creative rings are above your head. 3 gold rings above your head. 1, 2, 3. And so you make a copy of those out in front of you and just check them out. Look for cracks, look for big missing chunks and repair them. Use so much gold light that they just grow back. And then, so that's repair of your creative rings. And then they could have cords going into them from beings or people, which would irritate the flaps and make them stick out. I'll show you my flaps drawing. So flaps, if they stick out, they look like that. And we don't want them to stick out, because if they stick out, it's just easier for people to keep hoarding more and more people, more and more beings. And that's no good. So just melt the cords from people going into your flaps so that your flaps can relax and fall shut. And then invasive beings that are hoarding your creative rings, just say, angels, can you please recycle these invasive beings? And then we can do a little extra unblocking of the creative rings and all the major chakras along your spine as well. And your Kundalini chakra, why not? That's at the base below your first chakra of your physical body. You have a Kundalini chakra. So down there. So 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then Kundalini chakra is right beneath the first chakra of your physical body. So just imagine your creative rings, copy of your creative rings, and then both 7th chakras, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you have 2 sets of 7 chakras. And then your Kundalini chakra, you have one of those because that's for your physical body. And just sticky gold wax the whole thing. Gold wax, have it stick to anything that's not you, in and around all this. That's healthy and gentle to get rid of. And then you're going to move out the wax and the junk and hand it to your angels. So move out the wax and the junk. Angels, here you go. More sticky gold wax for your creative rings all around them, all the way down to all your major chakras and your Kundalini chakra. Sticky gold wax them all. And you're going to move out the wax and the junk. And angels, here you go. A couple deep breaths to adjust to that. Breathe into all your major joints. All right, good job. So that was creative ring repair and unblocking, and we unblocked using sticky gold wax, and we unblocked the creative rings, all the major chakras, and the Kundalini chakra. But now we will do more chakra work. We will repair damage, which is important to do. And if you are freaking out, the odds of you having aura damage and chakra damage are very high. So you make a composite copy of, like an open cylinder shape, and have that represent all your major and your minor chakras. So just make your composite copy, have your intention be it represents all your major and minor chakras of your body and spirit. And then as you repair it, you are repairing all your chakras. And unblock at the same time. So there could be clogs in front of these round openings, like big clogs. So just ease out the clog and melt it away with gold light. Ease it out, melt it away, ease it out, melt it away. You can also have blocks wrapped around the chakra. You can melt those away, and blocks stuffed in the chakra. You can melt those away. And your intention is you want to clear what's healthy and gentle to clear right now. And it could be that you have some don't want to know blocks in your chakras, meaning blocks that you don't want to know about. They're just so gross, and you've stuffed them in there and repressed them so hard. You're just like, I never want to know about them. But they could be really helpful to clear. So you can have a big gold curtain or something, or a big gold brick wall if you feel like your curtain's too see-through. Or an angel gold wavy wall. Just angels, give me a little gold wall here so I can temporarily, so I can clear stuff without seeing it. And then just lift out the junk out of your chakras you don't want to see, but you should clear right now. And give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Lift out the junk you don't want to know about from your chakras. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Lift out the junk you do not want to know about, but is still healthy and gentle to clear, and give it to your angels. All right, so you can get rid of your don't want to know wall. I'm not going to bother to unblock for the theme right now because we're going to do some cool techniques to do that. So that's fine. So that for chakra repair, the only other thing I didn't say out loud is melting the cords. Going into your chakras. So just melt those away. Unless you have a kid, in which case you keep the first chakra cord to your kid who is 13 or younger. If your kid is 40, don't keep the cords. Let the flaps relax around the outer surface of your chakras. The more you melt the cords. If you have any invasive beings in the way, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way of this work? And let those flaps relax around the outer round openings. All right, good job. So that's chakra repair and unblocking. I can say it. All right, so we blew through the 4 essentials. Great job. So let's do the river stuff. So the river stuff, it's not like a literal river. It's like a river that we are using as a clearing aid. So you can, I mean, there are literal rivers. Like there's like a literal energy channel you have down your shoulder and your arm. And so you could visualize that and the flow of it and see like, okay, well, because it should be like a river in there, but it's a real energy channel. So you just look for the clogs in that river and unblock them, and that's going to help your shoulder and your arm. It's going to help your overall energy flow. It's going to be cool, right? So that's a literal river that, is like a physical reality in your body or your spirit. But then there's, okay, you can have a river for your logic when self-healing. Okay, so you can say like, okay, well, I want to be logical when I'm self-healing. Like say, if I can already see my aura, the outlines of my aura and the outlines of my aura layers, what do I do then? How do I use that knowledge to move forward as a healer and see some cool stuff that I'm going to be jazzed about? It's going to help my day, right? Let me have the logical sort of inspiration to work with what I know I can already see, what I'm like literally seeing right now. How do I work with that? Rather than just hitting a wall and being like, yeah, but I can't see most things, so I really can't see it all. So let's look at a river that represents your clairvoyance and intuition logic. Okay, how about that? Or self-healing logic. Right? So this river, so it's kind of what we're doing is kind of a customized deep thought technique that's just for a certain task, a certain activity. where deep thought is a technique where you're clearing conscious blocks, subconscious blocks, and also communication with your higher self, like all at once. And so this river technique is sort of an easy way to do that. You just visualize one river. It represents your logic, your use of logic with clairvoyance and intuition to as a self-healer. And so you look at that river. Okay, does it flow nicely, or is it like jammed up? Or does it flow like, but then there's like half of it is all jammed. So there's like half that's flowing all the way, but then the other half is jammed. Like, what does that river look like? Your logic river as regards you using logic with clairvoyance and intuition as a healer, self-healer. And just imagine the blocks and just use logical light and melt away the blocks in your logic as a self-healer river. And if there are any beings clogging up the river, like invasive beings, just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings clogging up this river? And you can identify different things, like maybe there's a big muddy part that's blocked up, and that relates to energy that your dad dumped in your space when you were 2 years old because of something. Maybe he had a really bad month at work or something. But you don't have to know all that. You can just imagine the river and melt the blocks. Because some of it could be past life people too. So I mean, sometimes it's fun to know, but it's not necessary. So again, this is a river that represents your use of your ability to use your logic when you're self-healing. And then freestyling is related to that. Freestyling is what I call, freestyling in a musical way is not what I'm talking about, but that's usually how people, like a musician might freestyle and just, create some sort of melody and just kind of run with it. But I'm talking about, as an energy healer, like, say if you can see the outline of your aura and you can see the outline of some of the aura layers, what do you do then? Like, how do you use that in a really productive way? Well, maybe just, look at where it is flowing, because you don't want to go right to the bad news, go to the good news too. So where is your aura flowing the best? Or where is it flowing better than usual? And then where is it clogged? And then just work out one of the clogs, Anyway, so freestyling, sometimes people are really blocked with that, and they just like it's just something they don't do, they don't think about doing, or they they just keep going back to my recordings, like, even if the thing is, freestyling is different because you're customizing it with yourself. So it's the recordings, I try to make them really good so that you could use them, and that's great. But freestyling is just, it's a way to just commune with yourself that could be even a little more private and personal, and relaxing, because you're customizing it to what you need at that moment. And you won't hear all my beginner explanations that I say all the time. So imagine a freestyling river, okay, that represents your ability to freestyle with your clairvoyance and your intuition as a healer, to just kind of improvise and be like, oh, I'm going to heal my shoulders today. Let me see how they are. Oh, let me do it. So you're freestyling river, and is it flowing? And if there are parts that are flowing, that's great. You can kind of put gold light through those anyway, just for fun. and then the parts that are blocked in your freestyling river, just start melting away the blocks. Or you can lift out a whole bunch of blocks at once. Angels, here you go. And of course, your intention is healthy and gentle. You want to do what's healthy and gentle to clear right now. But usually it is pretty gentle to clear all this stuff because it helps you to be gentle with yourself, to freestyle. And look at what you're avoiding in your freestyling river. Like I was looking at one person and she's got this bridge where the river is going and going, and then she's got this bridge, and the water takes a detour out of the river to go on the bridge and then resumes, like, because she's avoiding all this energy from her parents, from her childhood. She's not clearing it out of her freestyling river. So that's not good. So just, you know, surround whatever you're avoiding in your freestyle river, surround it with lots of gold light, and just let it melt away. You can have past life manipulations in there. Well, you can have this life too. But like one person, they've got this weird like corkscrew thing where the energy of the river goes round and round and round and round. So it's energy that somebody deposited in their space in a past life that is affecting, you know, the flow of their mind and their ability to use their knowledge and, you know, improvise and heal themselves. So just take out any manipulations. Just imagine them like objects in the river, and lift them out. Give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. So any manipulations from other people in these river, in your freestyling river, self-healing freestyling river. Imagine the objects, lift them out. Angels, here you go. Again, look for things that you're avoiding in your river that are blocking up the flow. Okay, so that was, we did a river for logic, and then we did a river for freestyling. When self-healing. Freestyling too could be inspired by a recording of mine or somebody else's meditative idea. You know, sometimes I'll do that. You know, I'll listen to like a couple minutes of something I'm doing, and then I'll just stop the video because it inspires me to do some other things, you know, healing wise. And so I'll just kind of start with that and then go from there on my own. All right, so that was 2 different rivers, just a way to clear blocks in the way of your logic when self-healing, and also freestyling, being able to freestyle when self-healing. And I'll do another river clearing just for myself, just because, I mean, other people too. This one will just be your logic in general, like everyday logic, your ability to, you know, be logical, use logic to solve problems. So imagine a river that represents your ability to use logical thinking in everyday life, your everyday life, and just see, is your river flowing? What part of it's flowing? How much of it's blocked? And just melt away. And this can have all sorts of random energy in it that's not yours for random reasons. It could be past life stuff too. So again, this is just your logic in general, not as a self-healer. It's just daily logic, ability to problem solve and be logical thinking. Could be even grief that's in the way. It's just all sorts of random things that can kind of fry your brain. So look for any grief getting your logic river stuck and melt it away with gold light. Could be anxiety that's blocking up your logic in general, river. So look for any objects or clogs representing anxiety in your logic river, and just surround them in gold light. You can give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. Or just melt them. Any fear blocks in your logic river. You could have confusion blocks. Well, they're not exactly confusion blocks. They're blocks that are causing confusion rather than logical flow. But you can sometimes, like when if parents are a little bit invasive in the way they teach, like this is the way to do it, this is the way, and so they don't just stay in their own space and say, well, this is the way to do it and this is why. They just kind of get in your head and they're like, this is why, and so they kind of dump energy. So you may have energy from invasive mentors or invasive teachers in your logic river, and maybe they meant well, but their energy in your logic river is going to have like a confusion kind of effect. So look for teacher's energy, even my energy in your logic river, and just clear out anybody's energy that's not yours in your logic river. You don't have to get into who, what, when, where, why. Just old teachers, current teachers, any authority figures in your logic river. Because your logic river is for you. It's got to have just your energy, otherwise you'll be confused. All right, good. So that was that final one. We did 3. First was logic when self-healing. Second was freestyling when self-healing. And third was logic in general. So that was clearing using a river technique, like a customized, sort of like a deep thought healing, but customized for a topic. Which you could also use the deep thought technique, but this is just seemed a little simpler. If you did want to use any of my deep thought videos, of which there are many, there's a whole deep thought playlist. If you search Janet Wright deep thought, you'll get a lot of options. Okay, so now we're going to do ripple effects. So previously, like years ago, I used that term ripple effects, but in a different way. I used it in a way of like, you know, if you have old trauma, like say on your birthday, then if you have a current birthday, there's a ripple effect where if you haven't cleared the old trauma from that birthday, it like comes forward and kind of messes up how you feel now. And so it's good to clear the old drama having to do with these recurring events like holidays or birthdays or, you know, things that happen over and over. But that's not the way I'm using it right now. The way I'm using the term ripple effect now is different. It's like that, you know, like a ripple in a pond, right? And so if you drop something into the pond, it makes ripples, right? And so in this now, I'm using ripple effect in a way to say using your clairvoyance causes a ripple effect in your space. So even if you use and that you first use your clairvoyance or your intuition on a subconscious level, right? And just for a split second, it's subconscious. And so you see something in your space, that's the event, and it causes ripples, okay? And so what we're gonna do is imagine or visualize what, oh, and by the way, imagine and visualize, for me, they're the same thing. It's just that some people that they don't think they can see energy, they can imagine. You know, that it's like it's just their mind is saying, well, you can't see energy, but they can imagine all this stuff, which is seeing energy. So there's not a different thing for imagining. It's just, I try to, like anxiety and fear. Some people are like, oh no, I don't have fear, but I do have anxiety. You know, it's like, okay, they're synonyms. They literally mean the same thing. You know? But people just have these little like quirks about how they refuse to use that synonym, but they'll use this one. So that's why I keep saying imagine or see. Imagine is seeing for people that are convinced they're not seeing. So there you go. So that's an aside on seeing versus imagining. And they're the same damn thing. Okay, so back to ripple effects, explaining ripple effects. So you see something subconsciously with your clairvoyance, like say, you know, a rip in your aura, and then and you see who whacked you, you know, even subconsciously, it causes a ripple effect. But what is that ripple effect in your space? Like, is it, you know, sometimes there could be a lot that gets triggered by you seeing that, and if it's unpleasant, then you could subconsciously kind of shut down your conscious awareness of what you just saw. So then you're not going to be aware consciously that somebody whacked you. You're not going to be aware of the rip in your aura. You're not going to be aware of your chakra damage now. You're not going to be aware of all this. You're going to be like, ma, 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 ma. Because the ripple effect, you didn't like it. And so it caused you to, you know, tune out, block up, shut it down, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to look at or imagine your clairvoyance ripple effect and get rid of all the awfulness that triggers. Because there's a lot of stuff, and it's like random stuff like that, you know, you had a past life where your mom was like super paranoid and she told you that, you know, visions were from the devil. And so you have like all this fear and like paranoia and punishment from her because you had these really positive visions about, you know, how you should try harder at something and you should try harder this way. And you said, oh, mom, I had a vision and that I should do this. And she was like, visions are from the devil, stop that, you know? And so you have all this junk in your clairvoyance ripple effect from like various phobic people you were around. So potentially, just as an example. So what is your clairvoyance ripple effect, right? You see something subconsciously, and then what is, just imagine like the little waves of rippling, you know, that happen in your space. What happens subconsciously? You see something, you know, you see a chakra just got blown up, and then first imagine, I mean, you can imagine the positive stuff, the positive ripple effect, you know, but imagine the negative ripple effect and clear it. So again, is this a subconscious? What's your clairvoyance ripple effect? So you see something subconsciously, and then what, as it ripples, you know, what happens in the next split second, the next split second, the next split second. So you're looking for anything negative that triggers when you see subconsciously. And then you clear that out or melt it away, whatever it is. And it could be invasive beings are part of that negative clairvoyant ripple effect, like that there are these invasive beings that just spook the heck out of you once you start seeing. And so just line all them up and say, angels, can you recycle all these invasive beings? Little interlude music while your angels do the work for you. So again, subconscious, you see something, you use your clairvoyance on a subconscious spirit level first, right? You see it that way. And then, you know, are there any beings that intimidate you at that point? And if so, just imagine them. Angels, can you recycle them, please? One more time. You see something on a spirit level, what's the ripple effect? Just use lots of gold light. You don't have to know what it is, but chances are it's gross past life stuff. Or stuff from this life, you know, dumped energy from somebody. So that's your clairvoyance ripple effect, because we want it to be a positive experience. We want you to be able to use your clairvoyance in a healthy way that's going to help you, you know, like say if you're feeling sort of down in the dumps, you could look at your fourth chakra and see, you know, is it banged up? Is it cracked? Is it, you know, is it got a lot of cords in the front? Is it, you know, clogged up in the front or the back? And just, you know, look at your fourth chakra and, you know, melt the cords, unblock it. You know, but if you have too much negative clairvoyance ripple effect, you never get that far. You can't do all that, because even subconsciously considering doing that, you know, you hit all this derailment, you know, stuff that just derails you, and you just are like, oh, what's on TV? All right, so that was clearing your clairvoyance ripple effect. Okay, so then we'll do more ripple effects, still related to the theme. So let's do intuition ripple effect. So again, it happens first on a subconscious spirit level. So you intuit something on a subconscious spirit level, and it's just this, a lot of the negative ripple effect stuff just comes up every time you try to use your intuition. Every time you use your intuition on a subconscious level, there can be a lot of junk that keeps coming up, blocking you from making that intuition conscious. So then you can't use it as much if you're not conscious of that intuition. So, okay, so you intuit something on a spirit level. What's the ripple effect that happens? What is the ripple effect? Is there positive ripple effects? Like you get inspired, you feel encouraged and comforted and informed and motivated? And is there a negative ripple effect? Because the negative stuff we can clear, and that would help, right? So look for the negative ripple effect. You intuit something subconsciously, and it could be a whole bunch of junk triggers at that point. So you just melt away the junk, the triggers. It could be dumped energy, it could be past life manipulations from other people. So you subconsciously first is where you have your intuition. So you have your intuition subconsciously. Is there anything, or can it just ripple out and you have positive effects only? What negative ripple effect is there? And that way you can clear it. So that was working your ripple effect for using intuition. Okay, so then we'll do another ripple effect for logic and confidence, both of them together. Just because the angels say it's possible, won't get in the way. So you try to use your logic, or you do use your logic subconsciously, or you do sort of step into your confidence subconsciously. What's the ripple effect? And there can be really positive, beautiful ripple effects, and there can be negative ripple effects that kind of tune you out and shut you down. So you use your confidence and or your logic on a subconscious spirit level. What's the negative ripple effect so we can clear it? Use gold light and melt away all the junk that triggers when you're using your logic and you're using or your confidence on a spirit level. It could be, say you had a really oppressive spouse in some lifetime or this life, or oppressive parents or something. They might not want you using your logic or not using your confidence, right? Because then you might, have your own ideas. So, again, what is the ripple effect when you use your logic or your confidence, and look for the negative ripple effect and clear it? Okay, good. So that was ripple effect for confidence and logic. We unblocked, we cleared the negative stuff out of your ripple effect for using logic and confidence, so that you're more likely to have a positive experience, and then you're gonna allow it to become a conscious use of logic and confidence. So the last one I want to do with that ripple effect is hearing angels, hearing your angels. So you have angels. Everyone has angels, even if no matter what your religion is, or you have no religion. Angels, it's just a spiritual thing. It's not a part of any human organized religion. I mean, there are some organized religions that talk about angels, but that's not what I'm dealing with right now. It's just angels exist, and you have angels. You have personal angels that were assigned to you as part of your life planning in heaven way before your life started. And so most people that listen to my stuff, they're old enough spiritually to have 3 angels, sometimes 4 angels. In rare circumstances, 5. You could also have like a temporary angel that's like your fourth or your fifth angel for a certain time period. Like say you're going through a divorce, maybe you get an extra temporary angel to just usher you through that time period a little more. Although your regular angels are perfectly capable of doing that too. But anyway, so you have three angels plus maybe a fourth or a fifth. But a lot of people just have three. And then you have a spirit guide. Your spirit guide is a human being spirit that is in heaven that volunteered to be a spirit guide for extra credit for good karma. And they were matched up with you to be your spirit guide in this life. So you have at least your three angels and your spirit guide. And they're going to be trying to give you advice pretty much all the time, and, little pointers like, Janet, plug in your laptop. Janet, plug in your laptop. Janet, you're not hearing us. Plug in your laptop. Like that. And it's good if you can hear them. It can save you a lot of drama. Like say you're gonna go to a store and it happens to be closed, even though you figured, well, what store's gonna be closed at this hour? But they close or they're not even open that day. And so your angels are like, why don't you call first? Why don't you call first? And you're thinking like, should I call first? If you just discard that, like, oh, whatever, what a stupid idea that I had just had. You don't realize like, oh, my angels want me to call first. Then maybe you don't call first, and then you go all the way over there, and then they're closed. So it's stuff like that. The angels are always trying, even with little things. Sometimes people only think of like angels show up at life or death experiences. No, it's like itty bitty things. These are your personal angels. They're here to guide and mentor you as much as you'll allow, really. So anyway, and they never get angry. They never get, weird like that. If you have a voice that you hear that's critical, that's, like mean critical, that's just some invasive being. So you can say, angels, can you clean out any being that's not an angel? And your angels will clean out all the imposters. But anyway, so that's just a little side speech about angels first. So then, so we're going to look at the ripple effect of when you hear your angels. Because on a subconscious spirit level, you could listen to them, or you could even block them out, even subconsciously, spiritually. But it is pretty easy, unless you're like really trying not to hear them subconsciously, spiritually, you will hear them subconsciously. So what is the ripple effect? What happens? Is there negative stuff that triggers? Say you did have a past life where you were phobic about any spirit at all, and so some of that fear blocks could be still with you, or you had a relative who was like that, or a relative who just was really judgy about religion or faith or anything, or maybe you had a relative who was very critical of you, like just overall all the time. And that can just sort of be blocking your mind. So you can't, because angels have very loving, supportive vibration. They're extremely patient. They're not at all like people in that way. There's just endless amounts of patience and, and compassion. So if you have too much like criticism and self-hatred or judgment thrown at you or internalized, it can block you from hearing your angels because it's at a totally different vibration. So so just look at, okay, what's the ripple effect if you if you subconsciously hear something your angels are saying, like plug in your laptop, Janet. So you hear it. what's the positive ripple effect, but then is there anything in the way of that? Like, what is all the negativity that triggers? Like, oh, you don't deserve angels. Oh, you're not good enough. You know, whatever it is. Just clear the negative stuff out of your hearing angels ripple effect. Okay, so one more time. You subconsciously hear your angels give you some helpful, kind, gentle reminder. And then what triggers? And look for the negative stuff that triggers so that you can clear it. Do you have any invasive beings that, you know, try to mess with your energy the minute you hear some kind, supportive thing from your angels? If so, just line up those invasive beings. Just say, angels, can you recycle all these invasive beings? So one more time, just imagine, you know, like something falling into water, you know, imagine you subconsciously hear some helpful, kind thing from your angels. Is there any negative thing that triggers right at that moment as a result? And just melt that stuff away, melt the gross stuff away. And again, it could be self-hatred, it could be, you know, really harsh, abusive thoughts or ideas that somebody else handed you about yourself. And it could be stuff from, you know, past life. It doesn't have to be this life. It's just stuff you didn't clear already. So your angels say something helpful and loving and kind. And is there anything negative that triggers immediately at that point? At the moment that you're hearing it on a subconscious level? So your angels say something helpful and kind and patient to you and you hear it on a subconscious level. What's the ripple effect? Just enjoy the positive ripple effect and look at the negative ripple effect and clear it. All right, good job. So that was melting away the negative stuff out of your hearing your angels ripple effect. Good job. All right, let's see. I'm looking at a sample person, so I'll be quiet for a minute while I do that. And we are going to wrap up soon. Okay, so I had mentioned in the intro that clairvoyance and intuition, also hearing your angels, those abilities are in your upper chakras. I mean, having your lower chakras happy and being present in them helps you be present enough to be really stable and safe and, you know, successful in many, many ways. So that's important, because if you just hear and see but you don't have the stability, that's a real problem, right? So you want to be present in all your chakras. You want them all to be healthy and flowing. But that said, the abilities that we're discussing, clairvoyance, intuition, hearing angels, that comes from 5, 6, and 7. 7 intuition, sixth, vision, fifth, hearing angels, communicating with yourself, and hearing the intuition in your mind. So let's do extra clearing and unblocking of 5, 6, and 7, chakras 5, 6, and 7, and aura layers, astral body and physical body, aura layers 5, 6, and 7. Because you can have, my sample person that I was looking at has a very sort of angry and rigid father. And his parents are divorced, but you know, the father still affects the kid, even though the mother, I think, has full custody. But the father has placed sort of these big pieces of energy in his son's outer layers of his aura, like, this is the way the world is. This is what you should see. This is what you should know. This is what you should hear, and how you should communicate. And so it blocks his use of his own abilities because he has, you know, so front and center what his dad thinks he should be aware of. So it blocks his own free will to use his awareness as he wishes, right? And have his own thoughts and visions and intuitions. So that doesn't help anybody. So even this guy's dad, like when I ask him, you know, because it's like I don't particularly want the dad to whack me. And so I ask the dad and I point out what he's done to the son, and he's like, yeah, he's like, I didn't really mean to do it that way. So a lot of times, you know, invasive parents, I mean, unless they're really psychotic and they really do mean to crush the soul of their child, they don't mean it that way. You know, they just, that's how they were raised. And it's like when they're in times of stress, they just revert to the vibration that they were raised with, which is very like hard, you know, one way to do it kind of a way. So yeah, so even all the pushy parents that I'm looking at are like, yeah, no, I didn't mean it. Go, please heal my child. So that's nice. So I'm gonna write down this first. Okay, so that was explaining how we're gonna heal and unblock chakras, basically unblock, because we already repaired a bunch. We're gonna unblock chakras 5, 6, and 7, and aura layers 5, 6, and 7, to help you with your clairvoyance, intuition, and hearing angels. So that was explaining. So now is the doing part. So again, you're unblocking both astral body and physical body layers 5, 6, and 7. Wei Qi auras don't have layers to them, so they're just big gold flowy force fields. So we're working astral body and physical body aura layers 5, 6, and 7. So the outermost, like right there, and down here, all the way around you. And, you know, if you have people's energy there for random reasons or specifically because they're trying to block your use of your abilities, just, it's okay to just melt it away. Say, angels, help me do this. And your intention is you're going to just clear what's healthy and gentle to clear right now. And again, we're unblocking aura layers 5, 6, and 7 of your astral body and physical body auras. And also repairing, unblocking, repair hopefully has already been done earlier, 5, 6, and 7. So you can imagine both your fifth chakras at once, unblock them, melt cords. We could repair and unblock your telepathic mesh while we're at it. That's in your 5th layer in the front. Multi-way cords going into your telepathic mesh. If you have any beings messing with your telepathic mesh area, just angels, can you recycle all these beings? What does that mean literally? Well, like, you know, like say you have some negative self-talk. That's, you know, that could be a being courting you from outside of your space, piped into your 5th, courting your 5th chakra, courting your telepathic mesh in the front, or somewhere in the back of your 5th layer or whatever. And again, you know, if you have fear and instability issues when you think about beings, then you can still work this energy. And I apologize that you know, in mentioning it, I may be triggering some people because sometimes that stuff is a little too spooky, you know. And if it's too spooky, just try to remind yourself that you are bigger and more powerful than any invasive being that would try to mess with you. I mean, if they were more big than you, they wouldn't even waste their time on you. But they're smaller, and you're the one with all the energy, right? So, and plus you have angels, which are bigger and very kind and altruistic, and they are bigger than any of these silly little beings that are trying to mess with you. So, so there's that. Anyway, we just unblocked your 5th layer. We repaired your telepathic mesh. We melted cords and had angels recycle beings. And 6th chakra, round opening in the front and the back. A lot of times, you know, if you can't see as much as you would like, check the flow of your 6th chakra, you know. I'm using this a lot to show things, but you know, 6th chakra, a nice color is like a deeper blue, like maybe the blue of this marker top right there. It's a nice 6th chakra color. But you know, whatever shade you like, but ideally I would think a deep blue, because you know, of the rainbow system, and it's just like vibrationally it's kind of nice when they get a little bit faster, like that: red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, deep blue, purple. But anyway, so you could have, if you can't see anything, you could have the back and the front all blocked, and so maybe you're in there, but it's just not comfortable, and you don't have good flow, so all you see is black. You know, that's how I saw at first. I saw nothing, not even outlines, just all black when I tried to imagine my own energy. You know, and if you see, but there's only outlines, you know, maybe it's like partially blocked. You know, which is fine. You can still, you know, if you can't fully unblock it yet, just go with what you can see and do what you can, you know. But anyway, so you can get it more and more unblocked, so that, you know, you have a lot of flow of your energy going in and out, and then it's much easier for you to be there. So it's like, oh, okay, now what can I see? Oh yeah, I see that, I see that, I see that, I see that. If it's all blocked, then you're kind of like, oh, it's really hard to see. I can barely see anything, you know. So that's why, if you can see a little, work that. You know, what can I see? What can I? Okay, well, what's more blocked? What's more flowing? You know, and then work what's more blocked. You know, and just use lots of gold light. You know, it's like, just if you can see even a little, use it. You know, to clear more and more and more. Anyway, so your 6th chakra, unblock it, baby. Want lots of flow so it's comfortable to be there. Relax the flaps around the outer surface, melt cords, relax the flaps. So the flaps are shut, so it's a nice smooth surface, but your energy flows in and out. The openings, the big openings, you want obviously to have a lot of flow. Just take out as many blocks out of your sixth chakra as is healthy and gentle to take out right now. And melt them away. And seventh chakra, the top of the head. The orientation is like this. 5, 6, all the other 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 are like this. Round opening in the front and the back. The seventh is like this. So round opening in the top and the bottom. So in the top of your head, and then in there, the bottom right there. It's like, it's pretty small though, because it doesn't, you don't want it to get in the way of your sixth chakra, which is right there. So it's small, but it's really powerful. It's like a little shot glass, But you can make your copy bigger. But again, so just get rid of the blocks in the top and the bottom. So seventh chakra, intuition. Seventh chakra is also confidence. Identity, empowerment. Lots of good stuff. And then the layers again. People forget how important the layers are. It's like if the layers are too blocked, it's just too hard on the chakra. So it's better to unblock both of them, the aura layer and the chakra. So I'm just doing aura layers 5, 6, and 7 all at once. Unblocking by running gold light. All right. So that was unblocking aura layers 7, 6, and 5, astral and physical, as well as unblocking chakras 7, 6, and 5, both astral and physical. So I think we're going to wrap up. You can just check your chakras, check overall chakra alignment. Oh, chakra filaments. Let's do that. That's a nice way to adjust. So chakra filaments are cords, but they're from you to you. From like, say your first chakra filament is between your physical first chakra and your astral first chakra. It's just the little river of energy that flows, communication between the two. Second chakra filament goes between your physical second and your astral second chakra. So you just imagine all 7 of your chakra filaments and unblock them like rivers. And they should not be hard black or hard white. They should be the color that the chakra is. So, red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, deep blue, purple, or whatever shades of those you like, or whatever colors you want. And then so the filaments should be the same colors. So you just melt away all the junk. It's blocking these filaments. You want to allow as much flow as needed in between the physical and the astral body chakra. imagine them inside each other. So 7th into physical. I mean, because hopefully that's the way they are, but you imagine them separately to see the filament. So then imagine them together. 7th inside the 7th, 6th inside the 6th, astral 5th inside the astral 5th, astral 4th inside the physical 4th, etc. Unlock your grounding. All right. So as you wrap up, just say, angels, can you please give me healing? Angels, please help me to wrap up. Breathe into all the cells of your body. Breathe into your joints, your spine, your chakras, your auras, your butt. All right, good job. That was a healing. Woo woo, you're amazing. Woo woo, you're fabulous. Yay. All right. So I'll just read through comments, but this is not a Q&A, so I will not be reading people's energy. If you want me to look at your energy, say to validate your sense of, you've been making progress with a certain thing, or ask a question about your grounding or whatever, just post it under any video at any time, and when I get a chance, I will post a reply under your comment. But if you want to say how the healing was for you, that's fine. So someone says, so ripple effect technique is like 2-in-1 clearing. We improve our clairvoyance and get rid of unpleasant baggage all at the same time. Well, you could think about it that way, yeah. But the thing is, my point with that was that your baggage is in the way of your clairvoyance. So you're improving your clairvoyance by clearing the baggage that triggers when you use your clairvoyance. You use it first subconsciously. Like, say I see, okay, an example. I see some gray mist in front of, my aura right here, this gray mistiness. Okay, so I saw that subconsciously, and it triggered this bunch of blocks in front of my 4th chakra of like, oh, it's so depressing. I'm never going to be able to clear all these beings. I just don't have time and energy, and they're always going to be there, and this sucks so hard. So guess what? I may subconsciously turn off that awareness, so then I don't see invasive beings in my space. I can't see them because I have all this baggage, and it's just going to be like, it's just going to, it's going to ruin my day, right? So if I can clear that baggage, then I can see the gray mistiness, and I can say, angels, can you please recycle it? And, maybe I'll have to say it a few of them because there are a few times that I see that gray mistiness. But then, I see like more red and orange and yellow flowiness, and it's pretty uplifting, and it's nice because my chakras are working better. So I had to clear that baggage in order to be conscious of my clairvoyance. So, but that's true all the time. We're always healing and unblocking so that life is better, basically. That's in one sentence, that's all I've been doing with people for these thousands of hours of videos. Just clearing and unblocking and healing so life is better. You're welcome. Someone saying, you are saying if you see something in subconscious level, what do you mean by that? In order to use that info in the meditation, should we see in the conscious level? Well, yeah, ideally, yeah. So the point is that, well, hopefully by now you understand because I just explained to the other person, but Yeah. In other words, you're seeing more subconsciously than you are seeing consciously. And there is baggage triggering when you see it subconsciously that is derailing your ability to see it consciously. So, like, you'll see that your mother-in-law is totally blocking your, left side of your first layer, but that triggers, your mom's dumped energy in your seventh chakra and your fourth chakra, because you're like, God, moms, they just never leave me alone. It's like a curse. And so the seventh and fourth chakra baggage from your mom, they got triggered when you saw your mother-in-law's energy pops you out too much, and then your clairvoyance doesn't work right anymore, and you're not able to be conscious of any of it. Yeah. So if you clear the clairvoyance ripple effect, that whole like, oh my gosh, it's these moms, they're gonna, and oh my gosh, my mom, and if you can clear the heaviness out of that, then you can be like, oh yeah, my mother-in-law's right there, let me wash her up. Oh yeah, my mom's right there, let me wash her up. Oh wow, I think I'm gonna have a better day. So you get rid of the heaviest stuff that's really derailing you from seeing what you need to see. So hopefully that helps. If it's not clear still, maybe just meditate and sleep on it, but then you can, of course, please feel free to post under the video any follow-up question, and I will post a reply when I have a chance. Hey from Chicago, 70 and cloudy. Well, that's good for gardening. Hope it's good for you too. Someone got rid of their message, but hello to you. Someone says, hello from Ottawa, Canada. I like the upper back and the back of head GV meridian. River technique today? Okay, I think that was two entirely different things that you were trying to say in the same sentence. So you could maybe, yeah, okay. Well, it sounds like you like the river technique that we did today, so that makes sense. So thank you very much. I'm glad for the feedback, and I'm glad you like it. So it says, thank you for talking about angels. I feel so grateful to know that they always are there for me. Yes. Thank you so much for this healing. Loved the techniques. Oh, good. Yeah. Yep. You have angels. Even if you didn't know you had them, they've been there. It's like, I mean, all three angels won't be there all the time, and your spirit guide won't be there all the time. They rotate in and out, when they're needed. They have a weird way of knowing. So, but like, you'll at least have your spirit guide with you always. And if your spirit guide needs to take a break, they won't take a break unless your angel, one of your angels is with you, and then, but you could easily have all three of your angels and your spirit guide with you for like most of your day. It just depends. But yeah, you're never alone on a spirit level. You always have divine assistance. And if you need them, just the angels, But chances are you're saying angels and they're right there already, and they're like, yes, hello. But yeah, they can hear you just fine. So you can tell your angels whatever you want. I feel super weird right now. I think I popped out of my body. Yeah, but why? Right? Use that logic. Why did I pop out of my body? Because just getting a healing from me, I mean, you've gotten a million healings. They don't pop you out, in general, they wouldn't, so what could have popped you out? Maybe a big fat whack that splintered your aura and splintered your creative rings and your upper chakras. But your upper chakras look okay again, but your creative rings are bashed and your back of your aura has a big hole in it. Because it happened after we already repaired the aura, so and we already repaired the creative ring, so yeah, just redo creative ring repair and aura repair just real quickly. But yeah, we did, and your fourth chakra, repair your fourth chakra, because at the end, the work that I did repaired the damage to chakras 5, 6, and 7, because we happened to do that right before the end. So repair your fourth and then creative rings or repair. But yeah, that's that logic I'm talking about. Gee, I popped out and feel super weird. What could have happened? Or what could I do about it? Well, I think I'm going to redo my 4 essentials. Okay, someone says, thank you so much for healing me. I have a slight headache and some pressure behind my eyes, mentally exhausted. I think it was after the discussion of clearing out imposters. We'll be taking it easy today. No, it was your mother or your mother-in-law? Yeah, mother-in-law. Big whack. So anyway, I said I'm not going to read people. But it's just a thing though, you know, it's like something bad. People tend to blame things on the healing, you know, like, oh, I feel bad right now. It must be this healing, you know? Yeah, or your mother-in-law just clocked you one real good. I mean, it'd be so cool if the healing could then protect you from your mother-in-law for the whole day, but when I figure out how to give that special a healing, I will definitely do it. But until then, it just heals you for this moment in time, and then it's up to you to maintain it after that. Alrighty. So yeah, it's not so much about taking it easy today, it's redoing your 4 essentials because somebody got you good. So this is thank you for this delicious healing, Janet. Can you please explain why you were unblocking chakras in order 5, 6, 7? You often say we should start from the top. It's just what I felt like at the time. But yeah, you could do 7, 6, 5 instead. But I mean, if you're already pretty good, then, you know, it's not against the law or anything to do it in reverse order. It's just, yeah, you know, if you're not present at all, then sure, start with the upper. But I don't, you know, whatever, 6 of one, half dozen the other. Hi, Janet, tuning in late. Very interested in this topic. Looking forward to watching the whole thing. Oh, good. Awesome. All right, guys, you are amazing. I'll show you my sleeping dogs, and they are sleeping. Thank goodness. That's nice. So if you have follow-up questions, feel free to post under the video. There we go. There is one of my sleeping dogs, and sorry, the camera is not focusing. And there's my other sleeping dog. Come on, camera, behave. Nope, camera doesn't want to behave. Let's see. There we go. There's one of my sleeping dogs named ABEL is his name. And this dog, his name is IZZY. And that's it. I have 2 cats, but they're out of camera range. Okay, you guys are amazing, and I hope you have a good day or evening, whatever's next for you. Wow, looks like I should have cleaned that camera lens earlier. Sorry about that, guys. Oops. Logic. I always think it's my glasses, you know, something's wrong with my glasses. Okay, you're amazing. Take care, and good for you for healing yourself. Bye.